Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today. Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With FishingBooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. FishingBooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to FishingBooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Victory Drive. I'm your host, Jacob Johnson, and we have a great episode for you this week. We have on Brian from Rolling Bones Outdoors, and we talk quite a bit about his backstory, how he got started in the outdoor, starting an outdoor company, how he got that start, and his background on that, and then kind of where they're going from here. If you guys aren't familiar with Rolling Bones Outdoors, it's a service. It's a company that does a full service, getting you ready, getting you into the hunt, right? So you get in there, you make an account, pay them some money, and they buy your tags for you. They buy, if you come up with a hunt plan, whether you want to hunt like somewhere out of state, whether it's like elk in Wyoming or moose in Alaska or moose in Colorado or something. You have all these dream hunts that we always talk about that we want to do. And we're just like navigating the state agency websites and doing all this stuff and trying to learn all of these little things that every state agency website, if you guys haven't noticed, is like the most ridiculous thing in the world. It seems like they're all so different, and you don't really have a great tag application strategy. So Rolling Bones Outdoors, they make it nice and simple for you. They're a middleman, but if you have a bunch of different hunts that you want to do in your lifetime and you don't have the bandwidth or the know-how or the salve to get a really good application strategy, or there's some hunts that you don't really know you want to go on, then they can help you come up with goals, reach those goals, and get those tags and have a great time. They also have a bunch of different outfitting services and a shooting school. They're doing all sorts of stuff over at Rolling Bones Outdoors. So if you guys haven't heard about them, go check them out. It's honestly a really cool company. I think it's great. And Brian gets on there and we talk all about like his background and Rolling Bones and all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I know I did. It was a great time. And that's pretty much about it, I think, on that. So I guess we'll get into some housekeeping here. So Victory Drive is brought to you by Grizzly Coolers, as always. If you guys are in the market for a new cooler, drinkware, or a hunting blind, check out grizzlycoolers.com. They have all sorts of good stuff. You can use code WCB at checkout to save some money. And also, they're just great people, really good people working right here in Iowa. So made in America, made in the Midwest, made in Iowa. Checks all the boxes. So check them out. Use code WCB at checkout. We've also got Toro Tactical. I know I talked about them last week. And if you guys don't know about Toro Tactical, it's a webinar deal. So you go in there and you buy some seats at the table, and it's a virtual table, obviously, but buy some seats at the table, and then I think it's, I don't know, it all depends on what you're wanting to look at, and they have a bunch of different guns and gear and all sorts of stuff on Toro Tactical. I think it is a gun company. It's mostly guns, which is right up our alley, but all sorts of really cool stuff on Toro Tactical, and you can use code WCB to save 10% off your entire cart with them. Like I said, if you guys aren't familiar with webinars, you pick an item, buy a seat, and at the end of the webinar, they give away that item that they are talking about. It's a really cool deal. You can get some really cool stuff for really cheap, but it is, kind of like gambling. So you spend $50 on a seat, you sit there, you watch the webinar, and they do a raffle at the end, and whoever's seat number they draw gets the item. So really cool. I think it's fun. It's kind of like gambling or like an auction or something like that. It's honestly a lot of fun, and you can get some really cool stuff for really, really cheap. So if you win, otherwise you get in on there, and at minimum you learn a little bit more about whatever item they are talking about that day. So check them out. Toro Tactical. Use code WCB to save 10% off on your cart. And that's pretty much about it. So let's go ahead and shout out Patreon. All you guys, love you guys. You're the best. And check out my YouTube channel, Victor Drive Podcast. And that's it. That's really, really it. So hope you guys all enjoy this episode. Brian, stand-up guy, Rolling Bones, great company. And we talk all about it. Good time. All right. Well, so Brian, last name
Mehmen.
Mehmen.
Yeah, Mehmen.
So there's some Mehmens around our area,
fuck
but
yeah.
we always call him Mehmen.
Yeah,
I don't know,
it's Mehmen.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know him.
Oh, do you?
Oh, yeah, it's my great uncle.
Oh, okay.
So Uncle Jake, Uncle Hank, they were all from Osage area. I was going to say it last night,
shit.
but Brad would have fucking, oh my God, everybody's related to everybody in Iowa. Well, look at South Dakota.
Right.
So anyway, but yeah, so the Mehmens up there, yeah, that's
okay.
Those are, I think Hank, Jake might have just died at 101, and he was right outside of Osage, Iowa.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mehmen, Mehmen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So Brian Mehmen, you're from Rolling Bones Outdoors. I guess a lot of people probably, where do you want us to? Let's kind of start with just kind of your background, how you got to Rolling Bones Outdoors. I'm sure people listening already have an idea of Rolling Bones is, just from, mainly from the, probably Working Class Boner podcast. You've done a few with them and being partnered up with them and everything else. So how'd you get started, your work up from where you're, however far back you want to go?
Yes. So we should discuss the Iowa connection, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's pretty
So I grew up in Bremer County, Iowa, Waverly, Iowa. My address growing up was Rural Route 3, Waverly, Iowa. There was a kid at a shooting school a couple years ago, and he said something to Brad. He goes, "There's no even such thing as Rural Route 3, Waverly, Iowa." And I looked at him and I said, "That's because when I was beating your dad up in sports, you weren't even thought of yet, and we didn't have all the streets named. They just did the rural routes. And so the closest route was 1, the next route out was 2, and the furthest out," you see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So that's how they did the rural routes, and they were postal routes. So I grew up in Rural Route 3, Waverly, Iowa, and in Bremer County. And, my mom and dad had a small horse farm. We raised and trained horses, and then they had a construction company, and so you did whatever you had to on the farm growing up. And I was the middle of 3 boys. I loved hunting, loved fishing. It was just something in me. My dad didn't hunt or fish really, and my uncle did. My uncle was a big fisherman, and so and one of my dad and mom's buddies, the Klemps, they trapped. Their son was a big trapper. So I started trapping pocket gophers when I was like 12 years old, and they had a bounty on them. If you took the 2 front feet in, for every one you took in, you got 50 cents.
Really?
So I literally saved enough when I was 12, 13, 14, and 15. I saved all my gopher money, and I came up with enough money. At that time, it wasn't like crazy. You could buy an old broke down pickup for $500.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how I bought my first truck.
Oh, really?
So
that's cool.
So anyway, so So hunting and fishing was big in my DNA. And then when I got out of high school, I didn't know what I was doing. I was working for a company that made molds for fishing jigs, Do It Enterprises outside of Denver. And I was working in the foundry. And one of my best men, the best man in my wedding, I had two best men, but one of them said, "Hey, I'm going to Wisconsin to look at a meat science program, a butchering program to become a butcher." And I was like, well, hell yeah, I want to do that, because my plan was to save up enough money working at the foundry to get the fuck out of Dodge and go to Anchorage and then work on a fishing boat, save my money. And I wanted to be, something.
You wanted to be out there. You want to be out in the middle.
I wanted to be way
nowhere.
out there, right? So life has all these funny twists. So then somewhere I got involved with this little brunette blonde gal from Iowa that and wasn't like my first girlfriend, but it was the first one that really just like blinded me. I was like all mucked up and couldn't think straight, and so then I didn't go to Alaska. So I went to college. They messed me up. Oh man, they killed my dreams. Anyway, so no, she swept me off my feet. But anyway, I went to college then and became a butcher, and I ended up in northern Wisconsin. And when I got up there, I had other job offers for more money, but Louis was they're a famous meat market. They said, the guy goes, "Hey, we might not be able to pay you what everybody else pays you, but the moment you get off of work, within 15 minutes, within 5 minutes, within 10 seconds, you can be hunting and fishing on one of the 50 lakes in a 9-mile radius." And I went, dude,
that sounds great.
That's it. So I got a job there, started hunting and fishing like crazy again. And then I started a company called Island City Processing. My wife and I did, and because they didn't actually butcher the deer. They had a full service meat market and a sausage kitchen, and they'd make sausage out of wild game, but they didn't butcher the deer. So I started a company called Island City Processing and started cutting up deer. The first year we did like 400, 500 of them. It was crazy.
Oh, geez.
I was able to pay off my college education. And then there was a guy by the name of, and it's kind of a little bit of a long story, but I don't think I've ever told it quite like this, from the beginning to the end. There was a guy by the name of, so now I'm 20 years old, right? 21 years old, out of college, working up there. And there was a guy by the name of Norberg who started a company by the name of Control Data, or was an executive with Control Data, and he had sold his business to Ameriprise investment company. Well, at the same time, there was a guy that passed away dragging out his two twin boys, or dragging out a deer with his two twin boys opening day of deer season in northern Wisconsin. His name was Larry Tim. And it's funny how things collide. So now Lindley goes, "Larry Tim, is this the Larry Tim that died?" Because we had his deer at our processing plant. And I said, so she went and checked it out, and she said, yeah. So a guy by the name of Noel Erickson came to pick up the deer. And when he came, one of the parts about being in the butcher business, and I don't know why it happens, but you butcher shit and then people don't come get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we,
kind of like taxidermy.
Yeah, exactly. So we filled this whole, everything up, give him all this extra meat, put it in his truck, didn't charge him. Well, then about 3 days later, Noel Erickson comes back and drops off this huge thing from 3M company, because they had a manufacturing plant in Cumberland, Wisconsin, where we were at. And so anyway, so now he becomes a buddy, and him and I had a mutual friend, a guy by the name of Paul Offenkamp, and Noel Erickson was with 3M, and Norberg was a client. Well, now the next year, Noel Erickson calls me and says, "You should go into financial services. I'm going to be opening a branch. You'd be a great advisor in my office." And I'm like, muck that. I ain't doing that. So then...
is that what you went to college for?
No, I went to college for meat science.
That's what you went to college for?
I was a butcher, yeah.
Okay.
So now I'm being a butcher. And then this guy says, "You should be an investment advisor and go get your securities license." I'm like, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So then my wife's like, "You're doing that." And because I ain't cutting up deer forever. So anyway, so then what happens is Noel Erickson comes back. I get started in financial services. Norberg sees me studying for my securities license. He goes, "Oh, I just sold my company to that company, and you should do that." So it was like validation that I should go in to financial services.
Okay.
So what happened was the next 5 years, I hung up all my hunting gear, everything. Long story. Well, it's going to be long anyway. I moved to Hudson, Wisconsin, and my wife and I started with Noel in a branch down in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then 3 years later, I'm 28 now. 4 years later, 3 years after I got started with him, I'm 28, and I get my own branch. And for the next 15 years, actually, I just went crazy in financial services, suit and tie, Wall Street, Atlanta, Georgia, LA, every day. It consumed me. I just loved it. Does that make sense? Just loved it. I love getting people out of debt. I love training young advisors. I loved hiring. We found a niche hiring young couples and having them run their advisory business in our office together and teaching them how to make money and becoming financial planners together. And that's cool. And it just went crazy. And my wife and I were just obsessed with it. And then one day I said, dude, I'm going to start hunting again. So I started chasing them. I had a buddy, Mike Tuttle, was one of my mentors. He said, you should start hunting again. And so I went on a dove hunting with him in Mexico, and I got bit by the wing shooting bird again. Iowa, And so then I went crazy chasing the migration, all that. And then I got back into big game hunting. And then one day I woke up and I'm living in a gated community. And I wanted to go hunting and fishing. All my buddies were golfing and going to to car shows. And I'm like, fuck this. That's not my life. So I moved to South Dakota. I started big game hunting again like crazy. And in 2010, my wife and I and 52 other guys took our company public from Citibank with the firm. There was 52 constituents, and we all went out on our own, went public. And so then everybody was leaving, booking golf trips because the IPO was a huge success. Everybody was like, yeah, it worked. We're all back on top. And I was like, fuck, I need to have an app on my phone that I could find a hunt. And so I told my wife, flying home the next day, we were in a town car heading to the airport at LaGuardia, and we were just pulling up. And I said, Lindley, I'm going to start a company in the outdoor industry. And she looks at me and goes, are you really? We're doing pretty good. Yeah, we just left Wall Street yesterday. The company went public. It's a huge success. We have 40 branch offices in 17 states. Are you kidding me? And I go, no, I think I am. And so I didn't know what it was going to be, but I took my son on an antelope hunt. Noah, who you met yesterday.
Yep. Great kid, by the way.
Thanks.
He's awesome.
Yeah, and so now Noah's 28. So he and he runs our butcher business, our meat company. And anyway, we go on a hunt. He kills his first big game ammo with a bow. It's an antelope. And we only saw one buck. We killed the one buck. The outfitter said, come back. The guy that was with me said, come back. He says, okay, we'll go during rifle season. So he invited me back. We went out. I watched him hand money to a rancher. We drove out. We're there an hour. I killed a antelope. We were back eating in Sundance, Wyoming, having a beer at a local pub. And I said, what are you going to do with your life? And he's talking to me. He goes, you should hire me in financial services. I said, fuck no. I am not opening an office. I love my life in Spearfish. Right. I'm damn sure not opening one in South Dakota or in Sundance, Wyoming. So anyway, we got talking. I said, what would you do? He said, I go, well, he goes, then you should start a booking agency that you could have offices under the same brand all over the country. There's nothing like it. And I go, there surely has to be. That was October. In May, I told my wife I was going to start a business. That day, my brain started clicking. And that was in 2010. By February 13th, 2000, and in 2011, February 13th, we launched a website called Rolling Bones Outdoors, because I asked him what the name of the company would be. He said it'd be Rolling Bones. I asked him what do you do as a logo. This all at this bar that day, just inquiring.
Really?
And I sketched out the skeleton.
Oh, really?
That's our logo today. And
that's cool.
And we just digitized it and went with it. And here we are, 70,000 applications, millions of dollars in hunts booked every year, a network of branch offices. We have 6 franchises now, got 4 more opening. So, and we franchised our booking agency model, and here we are.
So that's
Rolling Bones Outdoors, baby.
That's awesome. That's
That's the whole
wild story.
Sorry.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly that's amazing. So going from the financial world into the outdoor, like opening an outdoor business, like, I mean, that's the kind of polar opposites, but it seems like there's quite a bit of overlap still.
Yeah, there's some continuity, right?
Yeah.
Because I was in the food service bit, or I was a butcher.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know how to hit something in the head and get everything off of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good guy to have in camp when we go up the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Not because I could beat you up the mountain, but when we get something down, we can knock it apart in minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And so
it pisses me off actually a little bit sometimes when I see like butchers hacking away and making it like just doing it so fast.
Yeah.
So he's like, okay, cool, I can do that. And then I start doing it. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it didn't work that way.
At this.
And you always have good intentions. You're like, I'm going to start out and just go at it, and then it's like, fuck.
Yep.
And so knowledge is, knowledge is confidence. Confidence is I guess everything. So from a butcher perspective, yeah. So anyway, but then financial services, I knew the agency business. I understood the agency business. And so we are in a direct owned agency model, like most financial services companies. And so when I thought, I could do something similar in the outdoor business, but the FTC doesn't like that, having it all under one brand, because we're not regulated by Federal Trade or the FINRA and SEC and all that. So we had to franchise it. So literally, and today I still love financial services. My wife and I still love those. What we do there. Actually, it's an amazing business.
So you're still doing financial services and Rolling Bones and the butcher.
Yeah, we still own those businesses, those offices. I have great principals that run them. My son is my youngest son, who you didn't meet, is 24. He's an assistant branch manager in the one office. He takes care of everything. My wife and him and I still put 20 hours a week in financial services, and I put another 30 hours a week in, 40 hours in Rolling Bones, and I mean, it's divided up, but overall, I still have to, I love it. Yeah. So I love financial services. I love the outdoor industry. I love the agency model, and I love food service. If I had to pick one thing to do, it'd be butcher.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. It's
that's cool.
For me, it's a mindless thing. And as long as I have that meat case in front of me, I'll talk just like this. I could never talk like this on an airplane or something to a stranger. I'm an introvert, to some degree. I get zapped by being around a lot of people.
Okay.
Is that my wife blooms like a goddamn rose. Oh, fuck. She's always the last one to leave a party. I'm like, trying to find my way out. Yeah. Like Irish goodbye, our party in Iowa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
all right,
I looked around,
good.
I'm like, this is a good time for me to out. So, but anyway,
Ashley's really good at that too.
So
my favorite kind of goodbye is an Irish goodbye.
She's trying to drag me out, and I'm like, fuck.
Well, because we do
say bye to everybody quick. Then she's like, that's gonna take forever. I'm like, let's just go.
The Midwest goodbye. I mean, we take it to another level, especially for a big event. I mean, I'll start coaxing it if I know that's the way it's going to be an hour before I actually want to leave, because that's how long we usually need, because every goodbye is an own separate conversation. I'd rather just dip out.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. In the Minnesota, I never heard of Midwest goodbye, but maybe it is, because I always call it the Minnesota goodbye. Hey, we'll see you later. Then at the door, we'll see you later. And then at the car, we'll see you later. And then they text, oh, you forgot I bring it to work tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota goodbye, Midwest goodbye. Yeah, I mean, it's
I
pretty. I think it's a Norwegian thing. I'm not sure.
You got to slap the legs. Well, this has been great. And then you stand up, and then you tell a story. And then you walk to a doorway, tell another story. Then you get to the door, and somebody's holding the door forever, and you tell another story. I love it, but it's time consuming.
Yeah, it is. And when I'm done, I'm done. I'm with you. So anyway, but yeah, that's cool. The host story. That's how we got to Rolling Bones, and now, we have the greatest team at Rolling Bones. I said I work 30-40. I spend a lot of time around Rolling Bones because I like it. But again, the butcher shop's there. But now I spend a lot of time around the butcher shop because the butcher shop's there, and I spend a lot of time around our financial services business, because you didn't see the executive office, but we have an another building with offices over there.
Oh, and that's the financial service side?
So we just have executive offices there. So literally, I just go to one campus every day, get on Zoom. I can be in 10 offices in financial services on Monday, 5 branches on Tuesday in the outdoor services, and over doing merchandising and helping guys with food service. And I honestly don't run any of the companies anymore. I have great people. I'm just blessed. So
right. Well, that's the way to do it, though. Have it all in one spot, so you can just kind of bounce between all of them.
Yeah.
Because to me, I've never owned a business and stuff like that. I was like, that seems like a lot of shit to have in your head constantly all the time, and be able to take off Rolling Bones hat and put on a financial services hat and then take that off and start butcher hat. It's like, it's a lot of hats to wear and keep going and have them all be equally successful in their own rights.
It is. I found out that I have 2 mantras. Okay. One is that success is 100% communication and preparation. If I over communicate and over prepare, I can deliver. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And then the second one, from my perspective, is if I involve my family and God in everything I do, then I don't have to take a break to go service my family and God.
Right.
It pisses me off because people always go, "Oh, yeah, I'd like to be that successful, but you live an unbalanced life." Fuck you. Does that make sense? I don't live an unbalanced life. My life is completely balanced. It's I just involve all of my priorities in my business.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying, because I've heard that before too, where you have to have balance, like work-life balance. And it's like, well, if your work and your life, just because they're balanced differently than the way like you balance your life, doesn't mean it's unbalanced. Like, yeah, you're busy and you're doing your thing, but it sounds like your whole family's in it too. So you're doing it all together all at once. But at the same time, like, I almost feel like some people, they use like the work-life balance saying almost to excuse themselves of laziness.
100%.
Because like back at home where we're at, it's like a lot of people just like to go to their job. They work hard jobs. Maybe it's construction or being a millwright or, farming or whatever it is. And they work their asses off for, 10, 11 hours a day or whatever it is, 9, 10, 11 hours a day. And then they just want to grab a case of beer, go home, watch TV, and that's their work-life balance.
Right.
Like work and then home.
Yeah, and then don't bug me, wife and kids, because I'm in my 12-pack right now.
Right.
Or they go to Dart League with the boys on Tuesday night.
Yep.
I don't fucking do Dart League with the boys on Tuesday night. I don't do Pool League on Wednesday night. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It's like this. This trailer that we're in right now, this is your podcast studio. This thing, on a scale of 1 to 10 is like a 12.
Oh, thank you.
Fucking legit.
Does
that make sense? But you're doing it already because everything is right here.
Yeah.
And like I said before, man, America needs more of this. They need more people selling out to running their own business. And that's all Lindley and I have ever done.
No, that's kind of
all we know.
Yeah. That's kind of the American dream really is just like you can make as much of yourself or as little of yourself as you want because you have the freedom to do so. It's totally okay to like just go to work and go home. Like that's fine. I'm not dogging on people that like to do that. That's totally fine. Or go to Dart League with boys or golf or whatever. That's totally fine. That's great.
I agree with you.
But at the same time, like it seems like whenever someone's like out there trying to like do something different or make something else.
Don't be a hater for your success.
Exactly.
Because you didn't go to Dart League.
Right.
Don't try to suck you back in. Oh, what the hell? Oh, big shot doing a podcast now. Huh? You think that's going to work out for you? I'll never forget one of Lindley's coworkers said, oh, yeah, think big, live in the gutter. Is that what you guys are going to do the rest of your life? And I'm like,
yeah, that's nice.
We'll see. But you know what? By the time those people are in your rearview mirror, you don't even look, you're not even looking at your rearview mirror. You're not looking at the people that you're driving away from, and not like emotionally, and not that they're bad people, but 9 to 5 to 65 is not my gig. But if it is your gig, then I want to help you. That's why I love the financial service industry. That's why I love the applications and adventure part of our business. Yeah. Because we have a help plan that guys can, it's probably it's people that know about it, utilize it every day. They put $1,000 down on this hunt, $1,500 down on this hunt, and they start making payments for 3, 4, 5 years. We have that system set up with we have 500 outfitters in the system, 476, I think it was yesterday, but about 30% of them will allow us to do payment plans because they get a consistent check every month too. So if a guy wants to go do a hunt like that, they can do. I love the 9-to-5er. I love the guy that's, but don't condemn me for not being,
Right. Well, and we've gotten that before too in our town where it's like, not like, and it's not bad. It's not like they're talking shit necessarily or anything like that, but it's just like, oh, wow. It's not even really a must be nice thing either, but it kind of is.
That's what I was just thinking. We've talked about this a lot. The must be nice people, and you're you know what? It is fucking nice. Working our asses off and seeing what can come from that. It is nice. So
because we've been to Africa twice. We've been to France to hunt roe deer and Africa to hunt plains game and everything else. It's like, we get that stuff in our town where it's like, oh yeah, that'd be
how do you do
really
all
cool
of this?
To do that, someday, but I can't. I'll never be able to afford that. It's like, meanwhile, you're driving around a $50,000 pickup truck
with your side by side that you can't afford. All of that. It's like, go look in our front yard. It's not full of all of that. Our photo gallery's full instead of all the trips we take.
Yeah, we have that. We have a nice truck outside and everything else, but it's a $27,000 2007 Dodge Ram Cummins, but we needed that. That's a tool for what we want to do. And our paid off Ford F-150 that we had for years just will not tow this trailer the way we needed to tow it. So we had to get a different truck. So it's just one of those things where when we buy things, it's usually with a purpose. We're not buying new vehicles every 2-3 years just to have new vehicles.
In the driveway.
Like
Yeah.
So I went on my first big game hunt. Well, I shouldn't say that. I went on a lot of big game hunts before this, but I had a choice to go buy a new bow and a new archery set or go to Saskatchewan on a bear hunt with my old one. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go shoot a bear.
Yep.
So I paid $2,500, went to northern Saskatchewan. I killed a book bear, experience of my lifetime like crazy. I came back, true story, Bowhunters Magazine got a picture of it somehow and said, hey, would you do a story? So they wrote a little story. I wasn't a writer. They put a little thing in there. They sent me a gift card. I went and bought my new bow set.
Oh, really?
Because of the experience. The experience for me and for you and for Lindley and Ashley are what we're looking for. Mm-hmm. And so many people, I've been investing in experiences all my life, and I don't I drive, I don't even know what year that truck is. So last year they made that body style in Toyota. Could I afford at this point in my life a new truck? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Could I afford to stay in a new truck? Yeah, I've been blessed. Do I want a new truck? No, I'd rather go on a grizzly bear hunt with my son this year in Kotzebue. Mm-hmm. And you're exactly right when you say their yard's full of stuff and they say must be nice. Well, then you can turn that around and go, yeah, must be nice. But I went and had an experience. I drive a used pickup that's going to get me where it's at. I drive, I mean, it's literally, from my perspective, it's about prioritizing and focusing.
Yep.
It is.
Prioritize, focus. Yep. Prioritize, focus.
And one thing that we were kind of looked at, like we were kind of crazy because we had in our hometown, we had an acreage, big, beautiful house, nicest place we've ever lived in our entire life.
Yeah. Honestly, the dream acreage.
Yes. And we knew what our dreams were. What we're sitting in was one of them. And we knew where we wanted to go in life. And it made financial sense to completely downsize so that we could chase our dreams. Mm-hmm. And so we moved into town. We've never lived in town. We gave up our shooting range that we had set up out there. We gave up a lot of those things because we knew that this was going to create more opportunities, bigger opportunities. And a lot of people, when they get a raise at work or their paycheck starts getting bigger, they make their bills get bigger. And we've always looked at it, we try and do the opposite. How even if we're, our income increases, we're always looking at things to decrease, our bills or whatever it can be, because we're always looking at the next opportunity. And you can't do those things if you're tied down to every bill that comes in every month, for every payment of every loan of every toy that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love financial stuff.
Trying to cut down our overhead, if you will.
Totally understand. So I got a little experience helping people with finances. What I always tell people is that if you don't treat your family income as a business revenue and your overhead and expenses and manage it like you would a small business, you'll never be successful. You'll always be going to work, living paycheck to paycheck. But the minute you turn your personal finances into a business ledger and pay attention to them, then away you go. And by the way, not to correct you, but to give you some new vocabulary, you didn't downsize. You never downsized. You right-sized to life size.
I like that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You right-sized to life. Well, you guys downsized. No. We were affording the house. We were affording the acreage. We loved it. We had our own shooting range, but it wasn't the right size for what we were looking for our life size. We wanted to expand our life size. We'll go get that piece of property when our life size shrinks. But right now, we didn't want that because it wasn't the right size for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do you like that?
And I refuse.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
That is. Because, so many people, I know, especially in our area, people love the term house poor. Well, I'm house poor because my mortgage eats up, the majority of what comes in. But we love our house and everything. It's like,
that's great.
Yeah, that's great. And some people are very, I hate to use the term materialistic, but they find a lot of value in the materials and what they live in. And Jacob and I have never been that way. I mean, on this countryside trip, we're staying in the trailer on an air mattress. We find the fun and joy and everything else that comes with it. So we're okay with that.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've never been one that, we're fine in not being house poor.
She's much more she's the finance person. Like me, I'm more of the
idea guy.
He asked me what the bank logins are.
Yeah.
Honey, what's our password?
I really don't. Yeah, it's just one of those things where when it comes to buying new things, some people might think it's kind of lame or cucky or whatever you want to call it. But it's I do. I asked my wife, hey, can I go buy this gun? And I'm not asking for her permission, but I'm not super great with finances, numbers and shit like that. I'm all right, that's great. I pay attention to it enough. But at the same time, she's so good at it that I'm all right, she can handle that. And it's if we can afford to go buy a new gun or whatever else, it's yeah, she's just better at managing the household finances than I am. I'm better at just my mind. I don't like to clog my mind up with that stuff necessarily because I like to focus on the podcast and getting good guests on and going out and doing other things and planning that route when it's we need to divide and conquer, and she's just better at that thing than I am.
We lean on each other's strengths. And my adult life, I grew up on Dave Ramsey. And so you're smiling pretty big. So
So I know Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And he happened to start with our firm.
Really?
Before he started knocking on churches' doors, and he had a radio show.
Oh yeah.
And one of my friends and constituents, they had it together. And so when he says, been there, won the T-shirt, done that, that he's referencing the firm that he weaned his teeth on in financial services.
Oh, that's cool.
Anyway, so yes, so just so you know, for our family, Lindley was always the same way. I know I have an idea. I execute the idea. I understand the business. I understand, price, customer cost pricing, customer cost acquisition, customer acquisition costs, I guess that's what they call it. I get all that. Okay. But I always say, Lindley, she manages the money. She knows where it's at. I know how much we have. I know where we put it. I know what we're investing in. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Outside of that, I haven't wrote out a fucking check in 35 years.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a checkbook in 35 years.
Yep.
It was so bad when I first started traveling in financial services. You'd get to the hotel and I didn't have a credit card, I had a debit card, and they'd go, "Can you give me your home address?" I'd be like, "Fuck, I don't know my home address. Hold on, I'll call home. Hey, Lindley, they want to know my home address." And I didn't pay attention to anybody, but my job was just to literally do the hiring, do the training, and have sales growth in all our businesses. That was my only 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And then keep people, motivated and happy. You know what I'm saying? So I totally get it.
Yeah.
I think you guys are right. I mean, for what it's worth, I think you're right on track.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite Dave Ramsey sayings, and he says this on so many of his radio shows, is live like nobody else right now, so you can live like nobody else later.
100%.
And I believe that to my core because we've talked about it so many times on the podcast.
Do what others don't, have what others won't.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
Makes
a lot
sense.
of people, they won't They won't sacrifice, the shop that they want on their property or whatever for a short time because, for what they could have in the future. And we're on that path. We're like, oh yeah, there's so many hopes and dreams of things we'd want, but we know it's not the right time. And there will come a time as long as we bust our butt now. It'll all come when it's supposed to.
Yeah. Yep. So to go back to Rolling Bones, so was Rolling Bones, was that out, like the application stuff, like you guys take in members,
right?
And then you basically you do navigate the application services and all that stuff from all the different states. Like, so a customer comes up to you and comes up to Rolling Bones like, I want to hunt Arizona, Colorado, and Nevada. I want to do elk in Arizona, fucking mule deer in Colorado, and someday, like long term down the road, like ram in Nevada. Yeah, then you guys help. You guys go out and you guys say, okay, you owe me this much per year in order to put in this many points for each of these different states, and you guys go in and actually buy the points for the customers, for the members.
Yep. So what happens is, and that's a really good question. So our application service. So all the other companies that did this, they had a membership and they have a big magazine and they do a lot of raffles around it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And so we don't do the raffles. We're not a extra draw state. We do some customer appreciation giveaways but that's for being a client. It's not you buy a raffle ticket from us and get a chance at a hunt, and if we sell 100,000 of them and give you a $15,000 hunt, we make a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. That's not our business model. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I'm not shitting on the ones that are. I'm not trying to chop their tree down to plant ours. That's not what I'm doing.
It's just different.
It's just different.
It's just the difference.
Okay.
Yep.
We have a service. We have a service membership level. Okay, depending on what you want. One state, unlimited states, and draws and family. So we have a silver, gold, and a platinum membership. And then we also have some other, benefits and features depending on what you're looking at doing and how you want to do it. So we can customize that a little bit and custom create it where if you draw in these states, we have a region where if you draw in these states, your outfitting costs are covered. Mm-hmm. So we have some add-ons.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, silver, gold, and platinum. Okay. You pay us X a year. Let's say it's $500 a year for the platinum. Okay. And we do yours, Ashley's, and your daughter's. So your daughter might not have an application strategy. She might just have a point strategy. So her dashboard, we built the software that has a heat map, and she can see if you're going to start getting her points in 6 states, okay, it's encompassed in that $500. Now we have your credit card encrypted. It's on file. It's encrypted. It's covered in our system. Mm-hmm. We built the software, and then we'll apply for her in those states. But then we figure that budget plan out for you for what that is. So maybe like a state like the less expensive states to apply for, you're like, I can do that because I could put another $400 and get her points in these 6 states. Mm-hmm. And I'm just pulling arbitrary numbers, randomly out of nowhere. And then, but maybe you and Ashley, you have a draw plan. You want to draw antelope because points are the inflation buster. Mm. Because if you guys had 3 points in Wyoming right now, the 2 of you, 4 points in for antelope, I could show you guys where to go do a DIY or do a paid trespass hunt, and you'd both kill antelope and you'd have a great trip. Mm-hmm. And it would cost you a couple grand, not $4,000 a piece to go on a guided hunt.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So then you tell us what you want, and then we customize a plan for you to do that. And then you have a heat map that you can see it, and you know exactly how many points you have. You know exactly what hunt you would qualify for if you wanted to book a hunt. You know what region you could draw in if you wanted to do a DIY. It's all there right in front of you.
So it's kind of like a hunt financial services as well. It's very similar where it's like, hey, tell me your budget, tell me what you want to do, and we'll make it happen. And you might have to wait a little while for X state or X animal, or you have like, I want to hunt no matter what. I want to hunt out of state, like Iowa. I want to hunt out of state every 3 years.
Exactly.
And then just like you start building it up, and you have a short-term, mid-term, and long-term plan.
You got it. That's exactly right. And that's what we designed it after. Because we have what's called a hunt plan, we have an application plan, and we have a dashboard strategy that we build for you, similar to a financial services plan, an F&A, financial needs analysis. Wonder where that came from, right? But so here again, I didn't do anything revolutionary. Mm-hmm. I just used the experiences I've had, and there was a need in the market, and we said, muck it. Now, there's other companies that are on the fringe that do a lot of different things, but none of them really have, in my opinion, the concentrated focus on the package like we do. We want you to spend less, hunt more, period, end of sentence. We've been saying that forever. We match the hunter to the hunt. We match the adventure seeker to the adventure. And we do that with consultants.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's kind of like one of like we were talking about when we were talking about finances. Like, I don't have the bandwidth to do everything. So Ashley and I, we divide and conquer kind of thing. So it's like the guys that are at home, like they work their asses off. You know, it's like, God bless them. Like, you're working your ass off, and you just want to go to work, come home, and do everything else that encompasses daily life within your life, but you have a passion for hunting, but you just don't have the bandwidth to navigate each and every individual Western state or any state in the country, honestly, where it's like, I want to hunt out of state, but I just don't have the bandwidth to navigate every single fucking fishing game website, because they're all convoluted and kind of hard to navigate, honestly, when it comes to buying points and stand up on points. Like Wyoming, I've been building points in Wyoming for a few years, and it's like, if I miss a deadline, then it's like, oh shit, I have to make the deadline next year, otherwise my points go away and I lose them completely. Then I'm screwed.
Right. And so we're that insurance policy for that. We're the ones, and by the way, we're not doing it for you, even though we do the applications and we make sure they're done and they're executed. When I say we're not doing it for you, we're doing it with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And because we want you involved. And so we have a triage of individuals that are involved in it. We have a local advisor or an adventure advisor, consultant that works for our company. We have the home office departments, the underwriting departments, whether it be you're going on a hunt or doing applications. And then we have you. And then so you literally, there's three of us that are involved in your strategy. And that just doesn't happen in the outdoor industry.
No, it doesn't.
And that's where that's 100% what the void that we wanted to step in and fill. So you got it exactly right. I was just looking at all the services out there and what they listed and how, so you couldn't have done a better job. I guess there's three big points for us that's separating all 50 states, tags, and applications. Doesn't matter. We look at Minnesota and Wisconsin and Iowa as great opportunity states, and a lot of these other services don't. Minnesota, you start applying for bear. It's next to no money, and you can go up there. You don't have to go to Canada, and you could have you and a buddy, you and your wife and your daughter could go up there. Wisconsin has a fall bear. It takes you less points than most residents in Wisconsin to get a bear point. You guys could take off on a Thursday, go up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You could fish smallmouth in the day in the fall, okay, crush them, and on the Chippewa flowage, and you could then hunt bear in the morning and the evenings with dogs, and bring 3 giant bear skins home and a bucket of fish for less than it would cost you to go to Vegas for the weekend.
Yeah.
And people don't know about that stuff. And we want to be those consultants that bring it. We want to be the Dave Ramseys of the world. You know what I'm saying? And that say, hey, let's the advisors that make people aware of what's out there.
Because there's a lot out there, and a lot of stuff gets overlooked. Like, everyone's always, and that's the thing too, is everyone's always looking in the hunting world, especially. It seems like they're always trying to find like the next up and coming, like, overlooked state
or
for
fad
X animal.
Trend, exactly.
Yeah, because everyone wants to go to Arizona and hunt elk.
Yeah,
everyone wants to go there and do
too.
that thing. Yeah, right.
But I don't have $40,000, 70.
Yeah,
I think the tag,
or 30
the state
years.
tag went for $310,000.
Fucking nuts.
I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know if I had that money to spend on a hunt. I don't know if I'd spend it on one tag, because you know how many other hunts I could get.
Right. Yeah. Unless you're,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I know, because the WCB boys had Jimmy John on. And,
yeah. Well,
that's a different
That's
situation.
not going to stop him from doing a bunch of other hunts.
No, it's not.
But most millionaires spending $300,000 is going to stop him from doing a lot of other hunts.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Jimmy John's not a millionaire.
No,
he
more than that.
Yeah, I mean, you land your fucking helicopter to do a podcast.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's a different level.
But comparing your you can't compare your situation to the situation that other people have. They can buy these governance tags for these ridiculous states.
Right. No,
That's just
we're
not
trying to
complete.
get you to draw them.
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. We have the last 3 years, all 3 years, we've had guys that never have considered doing Maine moose.
Mm.
We put them in for Maine moose. We have a lot of people because we do all 50 states. Guy says, I want to kill a moose. Great. Well, have you ever thought about putting it? Well, you might as well put in for Maine moose. Why wouldn't you put it? Every year we've had somebody draw that had hardly no points or 0 points. Well, they're 1 point that they had, and they drew Maine moose and went hunting on a Maine moose adventure. You know how cool I think it would be to be in the New Englands and go up there
that'd be
with
awesome.
just that culture. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
You
That'd
know
be
what I'm saying?
awesome.
I mean, how cool would that be
Mhm.
if you drew or Ashley drew? Your daughter's name?
Charlie.
Charlie draws.
Yeah.
3 you guys jump in this trailer, haul ass across there, do 3-4 podcasts on your way. Go up there. She whacks a moose. I mean, you bring home an epic ton of meat. You know what I'm saying?
And moose meat's phenomenal.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, there's just a lot of opportunity. I get
There is.
elevated. This is what gets me excited. So
Well, that's cool. I mean, that's one of those things where I don't think you'd be doing, because I mean, it's a lot of work, the applications and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If you weren't actually passionate about it, it'd be hard to navigate that
you know,
whole thing.
and
you
it was
know?
a big investment to get the software put together.
I bet it was.
And
That shit
but
ain't
it's
free.
But people, working class bow hunters, those guys are on there.
Mhm.
That's funny because they were like, "You never even been on your dashboard, Kurt." And Kurt's like, "No, I haven't." And we were laughing. But the fact of the matter is that's what we want to do is just help people organize it. Some people set it and forget it, never look at their dashboard. Other people are on their dashboard every day. Ooh,
Oh,
what hunt specials do you have? Because it's
I'd be on there every
customized
day.
to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the other thing we have is vetted outfitters with a concierge service, and then exclusive perks like the layaway plan. Some of these just additional features that we created to help people be able to hunt more and spend less.
Mm-hmm. No, that's
Adventure more, I should say, and spend less.
beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful plan because I know. So Randy Newberg, he's really big on like the DIY stuff. Like he has a bunch of videos on application strategies out west and everything else. Like all that stuff. He does all the things to help educate other hunters to go out and do their own thing. And I think that's great. DIY everything is awesome and all, especially if you have the time. But at the end of the day, like I've been out to Idaho twice to hunt elk. I haven't killed one, but it's one of those things where like when I draw a Wyoming tag, I would love to go outfitted because for one, it's like I spend a lot of time and money trying to save up points for hunt elk in Wyoming or mule deer in Wyoming or whatever it is. And it's like I really want to, for one, learn, and the best way to learn is to go out with someone that does it all the time. And that's one thing I think some people look at outfitters as like oh yeah, you're gonna go pay someone to hold you by the hand and drag you around the
that's
mountains.
not
Like,
it.
that's not how it goes.
That's not how it works.
The only people that say that are the people that haven't been on outfitted hunts,
Right.
Where it's like you're out there hunting with someone that's knowledgeable. So it's like it'd be the same thing as like going out with like a buddy that lives out in the mountains, where it's like you're still hunting with them,
Exactly.
you're still going out and doing the thing.
You-
But at the end of the day, like, that's the best way to learn is from someone that's knowledgeable and has experience in the backcountry
Yeah.
hunting elk.
As our buddy Scott Palmer says, you don't have to check your brain at the door. You know what I'm saying? You when you get to hunting camp, quite the opposite. They want you fully engaged.
Oh yeah,
It's a partner thing, and people don't realize that. And it's also an education thing. You hire a guide, you're learning from them. And so for me, I don't mind paying for instruction. Financial services, Dave Ramsey, if you went to he charges for his courses.
Oh yeah,
And so you invest in knowledge. And so I look at it from a perspective, especially some of these Western states. Dude, if I went and got an outfitter, how much knowledge could I glean from them to make me better across the board for all my hunts? And I don't get the DIY. I don't use, and I love Randy Newberg, met him a few times, have spoken with him. Great guy. He's familiar with our company. But and he's not so much, but some of these other guys, fair chase is the only way to go, blah, 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 blah. And they're all against Africa and some of those places. Well, if Africa didn't have fences, the fucking lions would get out of a lot of the parks and kill the people. illegal. Does that make sense?
Right.
And so I'm sitting here going, you know, I just don't understand the DIY, the only way to go, blah, 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 blah. You know, there's a lot of opportunities. And I've done a shit ton of DIY. Probably more DIY than most. I've done a ton of DIY, but it doesn't matter as long as I'm out hunting and I'm contributing to conservation by buying a license, getting involved, paying people, tipping, buying the gas from the gas station, getting the groceries, buying fucking trailers, decorating the inside of them so I can be, you know, 2A, what is that? Yeah, the Second Amendment conscious, so I can love hunting and fishing. Don't shit on me because I'm not your flavor of the week on what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
I'm super big on that. We should all come together. You know, it's the problem with America today. It's not the Democrats. It's not the Republicans. It's the fucking idiots that are so far whacked out that they can't even find common sense. And it's like, you know, do I like everything Trump says? No. Do I like, and I don't mean to make this political, but do I like his personality? The guy's a social twit to some degree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, he's just like, he says shit like, okay, yes, maybe, but we could have like get a filter. Does that make sense?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I love most of his policies. And like Fetterman says, you know, we hated Iran. You know, Kamala said my number one focus is going to be getting Iran under control. And then, but now everybody hates that we're fucking fixing them not having nuclear weapons. And I'm not getting into politics, but that shit trickles down to the same thing in hunting. These little divisive components elevate to a point where one day we're standing on opposite sides of the fence and we're spitting at each other. Absolutely. And at the end of the day, what we want is freedom and a great environment and a safe country and a place to raise our kids and equal opportunity. That's what we want in the hunting space. That's what we want in the shooting space.
And that's what,
boy, I must have had too many coffees.
No, you're good. I like it. But that's one thing with Victory Drive that I'm trying to, like, one of my main tenets, honestly, for this podcast as well is, yes, we're firearms oriented. Like, I love guns. I've always been a gun guy, but at the same time, like, I also a huge hunter, but I want to kind of be the guy that bridges the gap between hunter and gun owner or gun enthusiast, you know, because there's not a whole lot of overlap when it comes to that. And like the Pittman-Robertson Act back in the 30s, I think is when it passed. That was kind of a political or like a type of bridge that bridged the two together because
it tethered them.
Like, so I just recorded a podcast with Charlie Cox in Boise, Idaho, and he doesn't fucking hunt. But do you have any idea? He probably contributes to conservation more than your average hunter in the Midwest. Like he does, because he goes out and he goes to the range and he shoots. He's constantly buying new guns. He's constantly buying ammo, and all that money. The Pittman-Robertson Act takes 11% excise tax and puts it towards conservation. He doesn't fucking hunt a day in his life.
No,
you know, but he goes out and
but he's supporting every one of us adventure seekers.
And I think there's a disconnect between the hunter and the gun enthusiast and the shooter.
I couldn't agree more.
One thing that I want to be the one, because I'm an avid shooter, I'm also an avid hunter. So I want to be able to because I feel like there's been more and more of a divide between the two. Like there's hunters that are saying like, no, we don't need AR-15s to hunt. It's like, motherfucker. So now you're going to go against the one group of people that contribute the most to conservation. Like first of all, how many guns and ammo, you go buy a 30-06 to go hunt deer with in Wisconsin. So, but you're like, okay, I want my deer rifle to hunt deer with. You buy a box or two of ammo a year to shoot your gun, get it zeroed in 100 yards, make sure it's all checked in, then you shoot your deer at 115 yards or whatever it is that year, and you put it back away. You're like, all right, I'm a hunter. I'm doing my part. I bought my tag. I bought my license. Like, hoorah, I'm a conservationist. Meanwhile, the guy out there that has an AR-15 and a bunch of other tactical gear that doesn't hunt a day in his fucking life, and he goes out of the range and he's just trying to compete for competition, and he's shooting 2,000-3,000 rounds a month trying to get ready for competition, but he doesn't hunt. He's contributing so much more money to what you want to do, and you're poo-pooing on him because and the shit that he wants to do.
Exactly.
Like that's one major tenet of my podcast. I want to bring the two together so we can all understand both sides of what we're doing, and we can all come together and fight the policies that we hate. You know, whether it's gun control or hunting,
think you're on the
infringements
money.
And all that stuff. Like a shooter can go against Mike Lee and be like, Mike Lee selling out public lands is fucking stupid. Meanwhile, the hunters can be like, hey, ex political candidate that wants to ban AR-15s. Now we can all come together, and in power and numbers, we can all be on the same team and fight with each other rather than against each other.
Yeah, we have to. And the fact of the matter is AR-15s are probably the best training rifle on planet Earth, and they're economically conscious to sell, to shoot. So you can buy a 223, set yourself up with a Leupold, not a lot of money, and you make a 500-yard gun out of it. Take your wife and kids down, have practice with that gun all the time long, all day, all season long. It's not going to kick the shit out of them.
50 cents a round, and you can fucking shoot it all day.
So how can we not be friends? Does that make sense? How can we not have each other's backs and interests? And the last time I checked, is there a fucking law against having every rifle that we can have? No. And like, so I am not a pistol shooter. You heard that last night. That was obvious on the podcast we did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is awesome, by the way. That was a really fun podcast.
And you did a great job. But I fucking know nothing about pistols. Okay. I know other than, a little bit of how to shoot them and how to hold them. But
yeah,
I'm not, I like zero. Okay. But I have a shit ton of them. I plan on getting a shit ton more. Don't even shoot them. And I own a shit ton of ammo for all of them. But you know what? That's my investment. We live in a free country. Who's to tell me I don't wear pink hair. Okay. I don't get implants. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I want to spend my money on a rifle or ammo, then it's my business. And if you want pink hair and implants,
that's your business.
It's your business. Just don't make it my business.
Right.
And don't shove it down my throat. And I won't shove my ideals down your throat. And as long as you're not some pervert molesting my kids and doing illegal shit, be who you want to be.
Yeah. This is America at the end of the day.
Fucking right.
You can be whoever you want to be.
Anyway, this got pretty, we're good thing we're not drinking whiskey.
I know, right?
It'd
be fun.
So yeah, so it's been fun for us to be in this space. And we had a guy affiliated with us that really helped us with our shooting schools named Chip Mehmen, former Navy SEAL. Him and Dwight Settle. Dwight Settle owns a company called SEAL One. It might be the best. You should get him on this. And you should get some of his product. Do you know Dwight?
No, I don't.
Fucking, that guy is unbelievable. Former Navy SEAL. He came up with basically it's gun cleaning, gun solvent. Okay, but you put it on and dry rub it. He has a thing where he calls it his sig fish because he throws his sig in a tub of water and leaves it there all week long, and then goes to the show, shows how many days it's been in the water, takes it out, and the water just beads off of it. So he developed in an application some type of, like REM oil, but it's SEAL One and it seals your guns. And I'm telling you, I've never seen anything work on ARs like this shit does.
No shit.
I'll make the introduction. You should have him on it. Anyway, we were blessed to be involved and still have friends like Chip Mehmen and Dwight Settle and fucking brilliant people. And there you go. Those guys introduced us to the AR and AR platforms, and Chip helped us write our extended shooting range curriculum. He's been an instructor at Sam's forever and helped out down there. And anyway, those guys, we all need to come together.
Yeah, for sure.
100% DIY, guided, shooters, non-shooters.
Yep.
Yeah, it just should be all of us on the same page. The power we would have. And we can't be the silent majority. We need to be the fucking noisy majority.
Well, that's one thing too. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the organization BHA. Like, I think they have their own little issues, but however, they did it right. Like, they got fucking loud and they made their voices heard when it came to, public land access and all that stuff. Like, that's their big thing. And it's like, they did it right in the fact where they got loud, and there wasn't a whole lot of them, but they made sure that, Washington heard them when they're attacking public land access. So it's like, that's the same kind of thing where it's like, if we were all actually on the same team here, we could all come together and make it.
Yeah, these are the guys that sell the public land shirt stuff, right? Backcountry hunters and anglers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the only thing, I mean, like we should probably have them on our podcast.
Mhm.
You should have them on their podcast, because at the end of the day, you're exactly right. We had a gentleman that, and I don't know if he still is, was a strong listener to our podcast, and he wanted me to go. He expected more out of us. He expected me to take a position on the issue in Utah and everything that was going on down there. And I get a little political on the podcast. But what I don't do is I don't go at, because there's always two sides of the story, and for us to get in the weeds on that, that's not, I'm not CNN, you know what I'm saying? I'm not Fox News, okay? And I just, so we keep pretty quiet on it, even though we have some strong opinions at times on specific points of contention, because we have a broad audience, and I want to respect that,
of course.
And just like I just said, you want implants and purple hair? I don't hate you. Okay. You want to have 1,400 ARs and live in the woods and hoard ammo? I don't hate you. Does that make sense? That guy goes postal and becomes the Unabomber. Well, that's an issue.
That's an issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other to the left goes and does mass shootings. That's an issue.
Yeah.
But your priorities once it's American.
Well, and the thing is, like, when you preemptively take away rights and freedoms and hinder on that in order to hopefully prevent the next one, it's like, well, that's not right. Like, you don't preemptively punish people that are doing the right thing just because some other people decided to do the wrong thing. Like, that's not right. That's un-American. And I do believe that, like, America was truly built on, free will, and like I guess in order to say it this way, I guess, like, built on Christian values, in the fact that God gave us free will, knowing that some of us, some of the time, are going to make the wrong decision, even though we have free will, just because, like, that was the right thing. Like, that's bad stuff sometimes comes with freedom, and that's just the way it is. You give people freedom. Like, yeah, you could probably curb a lot of violence if you locked everyone down, like the CCP. You could do that.
Yeah,
however,
but free agency,
that's not how it
to
works.
your point, the Bible talks about free agency all the time. It's the thing that God give us, right?
Yeah.
The ability to have free agency. It's always like I laugh when people go, God, we'll see how many people kids God gives me. That's free agency.
Yeah, there's still something you have to do there.
If you're gonna breed every year, every 9 months for the next 8 years, and you're both fertile, there's some free agency in how many kids you
Probably
have.
have some kids.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, so anyway, but I don't want to get religious here either. But to take that free agency and then live out some perverted or perverse issue that you have in your brain because that you think that's your calling to go shoot up a school or to go become the Unabomber because you're going to save society, that's not. No. That's fucked up. And those people, they didn't come from the left. They didn't come from the right. Now, do I think that this younger generation, there's some ideologies and some acceptances that we've just, Europe doesn't have the issues we have right now. They don't have issues. We talked about that, but anyway, it's, you're right. But we should probably keep this to, anyway.
It's just, at the end of the day, it's just like the free agency thing, the freedom. That's the American way. And I think it's one thing that we could all come back together on, whether you live in a city or you live out in rural South Dakota. It's something that we could all respect each other's freedom and what they want to do with their lives.
100%. And that's what
I think it's something everyone can agree on. That's not controversial.
We don't see it that way, but we see it that way, that it's not controversial. But the fact of the matter is, I don't want to control your lifestyle. Don't control mine. And if I have 5 acres in rural Iowa, wake up and shoot 3,000 rounds this year and practice my pistol, and I spent 10 years and 9 years in the military serving our country, and this is what I enjoy doing. You and Ashley should. I'm going to drop a bomb on you. You're going to be like, what? You and Ashley should seriously have a couple shooting academy at your place or something.
That would be cool.
I'm telling you, guys are so good with people. people. You have such a big personality. You have such a large network. You know what? You know how many couples would be like, I'd love my wife to be better with a pistol. You know how many dudes would be like, hey, if I took my wife, I could actually get some education too, and I wouldn't lose my man card. Because dudes, they won't admit, like me, I don't know a lot about a pistol. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I don't pretend to. And so, but some guys just aren't that open. Perverse describes behavior, attitudes, or actions that are deliberately contrary to what is expected, reasonable, or accepted, often causing harm or annoyance. It's commonly refers to being stubbornly wrong-headed, difficult, or taking pleasure in acting against the norm. Okay, so there's perverse people on both sides of the fence. Okay,
100%.
And it's just funny how we pander to the far left and the far right instead of coming together in the middle. And that comes down into micro markets too. The hunting market, the shooting sports market, all that.
I think a lot of people in the...
Did I say that right, Ashley? Was I okay by saying that?
It was beautiful.
Are you going to edit me out of a lot of this stuff?
None of it.
Okay.
We don't edit any of it out.
All right.
We let it go.
All right, perfect.
But that's one of those things where it's like, I think there's a lot more people in the middle that do actually understand each other more.
Yeah.
Everyone's getting pulled to the extremes on whatever subject it is.
Exactly.
And that's what sucks.
And they stand on their rock and say, this is the only rock that matters. We should put all the rocks together and understand each other's rocks.
Yeah. The middle used to control the extremes. Now it's becoming
the extremes
opposite.
Control the middle. Yeah, that's actually a super good point. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, there's Life by Brian and Jacob. Now,
hell yeah.
I always say, if I was the dictator of the free world, I could solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. And actually, what's funny is there's quite a few people out there right now that are thinking, they're like, man, you know what? Maybe democracy wasn't the right answer. And that's sad to think that. It's like, there are some people out there like, maybe a monarchy wasn't a bad idea, because you had a person that came in and they had their entire life to make a difference, rather than 4 to 8 years.
Right.
Well,
but
at the same time,
we should have term limits. We were getting real political, but what the fuck?
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, fuck you, both of them. And then they point their finger on CNN and Fox in some real righteous way, like they know what America should do. Fuck you. You got Rich being a politician. Get out. I'm being outspoken today.
I love it.
More than most, but it's just like, I totally agree with you. Term limits have to happen. But the funny thing, was 2 weeks ago, the King of England was here.
Yeah.
And then Democrats were like, the No Kings protesters are fucking cheering for the King of England.
Right.
Couldn't wait to kiss his ring and validate a king. But then they think they don't want a king from our perspective.
Right.
Yeah, it's
pretty funny.
It's so fucked up. It's just ridiculous. That's why I like to live in Spearfish, South Dakota. Create opportunities for people, work hard for people, be honest and perfect. No, none of us are perfect.
No.
We all make mistakes. We all change our minds. But let's find some common ground.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
I think you're doing a great job. Honestly, Rolling Bones Outdoors, I mean, bringing getting people outside more, that's a good thing.
So we have two initiatives we're starting. I appreciate you saying that. We're starting Protect the Pursuit. Okay. It's a nonprofit that we're getting involved in, that we're creating, and we're going to start doing, we had a gentleman, that was, from Boise, and he had said, hey, we should start a nonprofit. Zach, he said, we should start a nonprofit, then that we make sure all the money goes to the mountain. All the money goes to shooting sports. We can have a committee and we don't have this big bureaucracy around it. In an agency model like us, we can do that. And we can create that, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like Midway USA has done.
Yeah.
I think that hi, I'm Harry Potterfield, and thanks for your business, dude. Yeah. I think he's genius. And I know other people doesn't like it, don't like it, but I think it's really, what he's done with that foundation and all the money he's given to the NRA and different organizations. It's amazing. But so we're starting a Protect the Pursuit. Okay. And that's broad. The pursuit of what? The pursuit of, right to bear arms, the pursuit of hunting, the pursuit
of
right?
happiness.
Of happiness. Yeah. We just want to do, and that was actually my future daughter-in-law was the one who came up with the name, and she was vegan when she met my son.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, and came from San Francisco, and it's the craziest story in the world how they met. But now I'll send you the article she wrote for our newspaper. But now as totally. She's an investigator. She has a master's degree in education and literature. So she went and researched all this stuff. And because of her research, she's still a vegetarian.
Oh, really?
She doesn't eat meat, which is great. That's her choice.
Yeah, right.
And it doesn't piss me off.
As long as she's...
And I've never judged her, and she doesn't judge me.
Perfect.
And she actually says this in the article, but she has come to her own conclusion on what... it's like trophy hunting. Mm-hmm. Fucking trophy hunters. All they're looking for is the biggest horns. My favorite sheep I ever killed, is a 9.5-year-old Marco Polo that is broomed off, and he doesn't flare way out. And you know what? I am a trophy hunter. I wanted an old ram or a mature long ram, and I would have went home empty-handed if not. Well, how is that bad when that ram's going to die next year, and it keeps all the breeding to the young, aggressive, healthy animals? Mm-hmm. I think trophy hunting's got the biggest, black eye in the industry, and I think it's totally misunderstood.
It's a term that was coined in order to villainize a certain type of hunter.
And copy that.
That's not right.
It's not.
I think everyone, to a certain extent, is a trophy hunter. And just because you are a trophy hunter doesn't mean that you're like, okay, let's shoot this animal, cut the head off, then move on and leave it in the mountains. That's not every trophy hunter I've ever met in my life still eats wild game.
What okay, so meat eater. What if you're a meat hunter?
Yeah.
Then the meat was the trophy.
Right. Yeah.
Muck you. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
It's just so Protect the Pursuit is one. And then we're starting a youth outdoors campaign for youth application.
Nice.
And we're going to make an announcement in July for what we're doing for the youth. But my passion is to get more people in the sport.
Yeah.
And if you're a youth and you want to have an application strategy, we're going to start a program where our members and people could actually donate, and we will take that donation 100% and start somebody's application strategy for them.
That's
we'll
awesome.
Buy their membership, we'll start their application strategies, and you can donate for a youth hunter. Braden Eastman, who I think you met last night, he runs our application and membership services. His dad, Bill Eastman, and the two of them are in this youth hunting, South Dakota Youth Hunting Organization. And I see what they're doing, and the kids that that never would have had a chance to hunt, that are becoming outdoor enthusiasts, that might never hunt again, but they fell in love with the outdoors. It's ridiculous, and we need more kids doing that than watching video games and putting lipstick on each other.
Yeah, no, it's 100%. I mean, absolutely. I 100% agree, and it's one of those things where if you have a youth and they grow up only seeing oh yeah, dad's gone for 2-3 weeks at a time, and then he comes back and that's it. Rather than going out with them and experience themselves. If we lose the youth, then we lose everything.
Everything.
So it's one of those things where getting them more involved and getting them to go out there and appreciate it, even if they don't grow up to be, a lifelong hunter, they'll look back with fond memories of that and be like, I understand it, I get it, and I respect it. Rather than, even if they move to Chicago and become a financial advisor and never hunt again in their life, but at least they can be in the city and look back with fond memories on hunting and be like, I'm not going to fight against it. I might not do it anymore, but at least I understand and respect it.
I quit hunting for 15 years.
Yep.
Financial services provided me an opportunity. I love the firm I work with. I love the firm we've built our offices with. I would never do anything to jeopardize that. It's in my blood. I'm 100% all in with them. I'd take a bullet for that company every day of the week, because at the end of the day, you know what it did? It provided me an opportunity to have the resources to start start a company and have a franchise. And we have guys making $4, $5, $6 a month right now in our booking agency model, and they would have never had that. We have guys experiencing hunts that would have never had it if their layaway plan, drawing tags that they would have never done if we wouldn't have started a company. So I think it's the stewardship of us as independent thinkers to provide opportunity for people around us. And to what you're saying, I'm 100%. I think that's exactly right.
That's perfect. And that's one thing too that I guess before we leave, I just want to say, I guess like the hunting industry is very encapsulated with selling gear that you may or may not need, right? And at the end of the day, we all just want the experience. And one thing I love about Rolling Bones Outdoors is that you guys are out there selling an experience. Everyone needs gear and everyone needs good gear to do the things that they want to do when it comes to hunting. But at the end of the day, it's like we're all here to not necessarily just be gear connoisseurs and stuff like that. It's like we're wanting the experience. And I love that you guys are out there selling the experience to everyday normal people that, work in whatever job they're doing, and they might not have, like I said, the bandwidth to go out there and do these application strategies justice. And you're getting them more experiences for their money, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? You said that about like people in the industry. Everybody's chasing a gear, and that's because that's where the money's at. The big box stores, new fashion. I call it TOP, timeout products. Okay, the industry is full of timeout products. But by the time, because part of Leupold's our marketing strategy is not just to sell scopes anymore. Now it's to sell lifestyles. It's to sell these, what are they called? Content creators. Yeah. And we're essentially content creators with the podcast. But the fact of the matter is that that's where the money's at. So you either are inventing a widget or you're trying to get a sponsorship from a widget company that all wants to sell their widget. And it could be to a wool shirt down to a new whatever design for this. This is going to save, the industry. But that's what makes our industry healthy right now. Because people want to be in it. I call them hunting bums, adventure bums, fishing bums. Okay. They would do anything. Okay. To be Insta famous and Facebook ready for income, and I don't see those people as bad. I see that as a positive, healthy thing for our industry. Now, the reality is some of them are going to have to wake up and realize that not everybody wants to watch them hunt.
That's true.
and
that's very true.
And so, but to find a place where they can deliver the right content, it's like what you guys are doing. I downloaded your podcast last night. I can't wait to listen to them. Thank you. But the network that you guys are building with working class bow hunters and your podcast, and all of the ones that are in that, I guess, that umbrella, to me, that's genius. And because you're providing value to the consumer, that's not just a click, flip. Smash the like button and move on. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. We're very, very much targeted towards long form discussions. And I think that's what the world needs more of as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think the Victory Drive movement, I'm behind it. I like it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I like your facility. I like your family. You're from Iowa, so we're good people.
That's a good footing to start out on.
So I used to be on Facebook all the time, and when I say I was on, I would post things from around the world that I'd been blessed to go travel and do, and then and I shouldn't have succumbed to it, but I said, fuck it. I'm not putting shit on there anymore because I just got hate. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Because somebody found out I was in financial services and own offices. Somebody found out I own another business. And of course, then I'm just, you can afford to do this shit. So, and now you're peddling it to us, blah, blah, blah. And so I just had such a disdain for the hate that I was getting. And, I'd have to delete that comment. And I was like, fuck, you know what? The easiest way for me to do is stay away from Facebook.
Yeah.
But I used to always put on there #IoBoy because that's all. I was just a fucking Iowa boy. I ran around 1 mile sections on gravel roads trying to find a new pocket to go for colony popping up. I was trying to trap the next raccoon, find the next muskrat infestation, the next big old buck mink I could catch, and shoot a deer with my bow and kill a few pheasants and rabbits along the way. I grew up eating way more squirrel pot pie than I ever did ribeyes.
I love squirrel.
Yeah, dude, and people,
Kentucky.
the big old Kentucky, big old fox squirrel. I'd shoot those suckers, come home, I'd quarter them out, take them in. My mom would put them overnight in some cold water with salt in it, kind of extract all the stuff. We would, we'd freeze them up, and man, I tell you what, many times I had chicken fried squirrel for dinner, and or she'd bake them and pull all that meat off and make a squirrel pot pie. Nothing better than that shit. That's good. Living right there.
That is. That is.
And so I don't know, I didn't, I've been blessed along the way, but more than anything, I just made some decisions that I'd live without it today. I did what most won't, so I had what most don't.
That's right.
Does that make sense? Or I did what most don't, so I had what most won't.
Yep.
However you want to say it.
Either way. I think it works either way.
I think it does. So I mean, that's what we did. My wife and I did the same thing. We right-sized. We got rid of all our debt. We when we went into financial services, I was living on 38 acres in northern Wisconsin, loving my life. I had my processing plant on it. I had a good job. We had a 38-acre hobby farm, 2 outbuildings, our house, 2 car payments. And I looked at her and I said, you know what? Let's just give this financial services thing a rip. Let's go all in with this company. And I went from that to eating ramen noodles and giving plasma on Sundays because I got more money for it.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
And my whole family was like, "You're fucking crazy." Oh, my
a good thing going
I don't
here.
want to say which brother, but my one brother was like, "Dude, you can't even afford." And he's right, I couldn't. And I'd go home for Christmas. They'd have a big Yukon. They'd be all in new clothes. And you know what? It worked out for them. They're successful in their own right. They've done their own thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I was driving a Shanita. She needed a motor. She needed a tire. She needed a new headliner. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't matter to me, though. I was on a mission.
Yeah.
And, my wife and I, we opened that first branch office and we poured into our people. And I spent all my money on people and the location. And then we started making a little money and I still didn't spend any.
That's the way to do it.
I think we had 8 offices and we're doing really well. And we had a contest every month to see how low we could get our living expenses.
Yep. Oh, I love that.
Yeah. She's big on that.
Oh my gosh. I go through our stuff probably at least once a month to see what we can cut out. What do we not need? What subscription isn't worth it? All of it. And then my biggest thing, so I'm not big on loans. I hate getting loans, but sometimes you need them. And so what I do if we ever have to get one is I keep a calculation. So I always do principal only payments. I mean, so small, big.
You crush and accelerate the interest that's accruing.
And then I have to do the math.
And then it's a game.
Which ChatGPT is great, so it'll do the math for me now. I don't have to do it.
Those are the games that we should teach America to play.
Yeah. And it's like, how much earlier is the loan going to be paid off now? And how much interest we save? So I have like notebooks full of all those because it just brings me joy to read it. Like I had to get, we had to get the loan.
Lindley was the same way. You needed a loan. Okay, we need a loan. Let's get it absolved. Let's take care of it.
Yeah, as fast as can.
And you know what? And I think that's something that everybody should want to play that game and consider that game. But we really did. At one time in our life, when Lindley was pregnant with Noah, she was told she couldn't have kids. And then boom, she is pregnant. And we had just dropped the paternal part of the health insurance or whatever that is. Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck. So we're like, okay. So we find out Lindley's pregnant. And we've been trying for 6 years. We were told by the medical institution she'd probably never get pregnant. That she does. Miracles happen, right? And so instead of looking at it as it was like a gift from God, and it is. He's my best business partner today, Noah, our oldest. He's amazing. One of our best because our son Lucas is our best too. We're all in business together.
The other side,
but the reality is when Lindley was pregnant with Noah, I loved Wendy's. Because not because I love the food, because they were the first ones to market with a $1 menu. I could go get a baked potato for $1. I could get chili for $1, pour the chili over the baked potato. That was my supper 5 nights a week for $2. And I could get as many crackers as possible. And then I have crackers for breakfast in the morning. and then they had the cheeseburger, and I would splurge on the weekends because it was frivolous food, but I'd get the $1 cheeseburger and the fries for $2. My expense a day for food was $3 a day.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Well, we've talked with,
that's awesome.
When we had Sam Gaylord on, he owns Old Barn Taxidermy, good friend of ours. And we talked about a lot on that podcast about, you go through your eating ramen stage. If you want to be successful, or just about everybody, you have to go through that stage.
Ramen noodles were it.
And find the joy throughout it too. Be able to be like, this is awesome because I know where this is leading me. Staying positive through that ramen stage because you know what's coming next. You have the confidence in that.
Right.
Yeah, Lindley and I used to say that, you know what? The devil can throw whatever he wants at us. This season will not last. We will outlast him no matter how tight it was. How it was. Remember those branded hot dogs? You get them for 79 cents a pack. We would put those in water and boil them. And then we'd eat hot dogs on white bread because it would be like super cheap.
Oh yeah,
and they were like 90% turkey dogs. Okay,
yep.
And we would eat those. Okay, and then we would save the water, put it in the refrigerator because it had that fat and stuff in it. And then the next morning or the next day, I would have ramen noodles with that water.
Hot dog water.
You have no hot dog water soup.
Wow.
Ramen in it. Was the best. I actually might have it this afternoon, but
I'm gonna try that.
I'll use some homemade skin-on wieners from all beef from the butcher shop. So anyway, but it's funny because you can't tell those stories if you don't live them.
That's right. Uh-huh.
And that's success. I think life's too easy. If I had to do anything over with my kids, I'd let them fail faster. I'd go work for somebody else, fail. Go get fired. Go do this. You know what I'm saying?
Go get a loan with 18% interest.
Yeah, go fail.
See how fucking hard it hurts.
Yeah, and suck it up, Buttercup.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, both my boys have done well, and I'm super proud of both of them. But and they've learned failure now because they're in business with us. So now they run their own respected departments, and they call back and they go, "Look, I just got my ass chewed by a client, and at the end of the day, it's because this guy didn't follow." And I'm like, and the point, congratulations, good for you. And tomorrow morning, I hope you have a bigger shit sandwich, okay? Because it's going to make you better.
Yep.
But when they work through it and they get it, and then you see them, they have a whole new level of confidence.
Yeah.
Failure builds competence and confidence like nothing. So
absolutely,
boy, we've jumped around on this podcast.
I love it.
I love it. Yep.
Absolutely. But we also don't want to take up your whole day. You're a busy man, and we probably got to be hitting the road pretty soon.
Yep.
You guys got to get on the road.
You're our final on the tour.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
No, anyway, what'd you say?
I said you're the final stop on the tour.
Yeah.
This was a great end to it.
A little Victory Drive Western tour.
Yeah.
Victory Drive. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
You
so
should
much.
be super proud of what you have here and what you have. And who am I to say that? But I'm not.
No, I appreciate
I don't mean that from any way condescending. Does that mean?
No, it means a lot.
I take it as a compliment like you meant it.
Yeah. When I walked in here, I was like, holy smokes. And to see you two sitting out there and I was like, man, this is magic. And you did our podcast night, Hunt the World with Rolling Bones Outdoors.
Awesome.
You did a great job. And of course, you're an amazing communicator, but we loved having you on. We need to have you out next summer. We need to get you two scheduled into one of our shooting academies.
Absolutely.
We should do one with your audience and give a huge discount to one for your audience that could come out with you during that time.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
To help with your audience and say, we appreciate it.
That'd be awesome. Good? Definitely.
Yeah, we would love that. So
that'd be amazing.
We'll get something like that worked out.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Well, appreciate
Thanks a lot, Brian.
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you.
It.